Hello, how's it going? This is a trashy,
Hey,
cashy,
children,
trash
twins,
podcast.
moldy, smelly cash podcast.
Cash is kind of dirty and disgusting.
It
Let's be
is.
real.
I'm a little bit OCD about it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm Carrie, and
And
this is Dave.
I'm David. Hello, welcome.
No, I'm David, and you're the other guy.
I'm the other guy. Carrie,
Did
American Arbitrage, it says somewhere over here.
did
I'm all
you
just.
did you actually watch our video last week?
I don't know if I watched it all the way through. It was highly kind of boring, but
You never mentioned that I put under you the whole time the other guy.
no, I saw that. I thought it
Oh,
was
you did,
funny, but
okay.
like not funny enough to give you credit because
Okay,
the
okay,
minute I give you
okay.
credit, it's just the next time
I'll do
it's
it
just gonna
again, yeah.
next time my name's going to be spinning in front of my face the whole episode. I can't encourage you, man. You have to understand, if I encourage you, it's going to get worse.
That's not false. That's not false. Well, Carrie, first of all, let's start off the podcast by admitting that I'm very tired.
Are you
just
tired,
go
man?
ahead
It's
and
late.
admit it
You
right
had
off the jump. I've had a busy
47
week.
people over at your house or something.
Yeah, I did, and then my youngest has a cold, and so she was up all night, and because you don't have kids, but the people who have kids will understand this. When kids get colds, right, their nose gets stuffed up, and then they feel like they can't breathe. And so then they come and say to you every 20 minutes, like you might have forgotten, Daddy, I can't breathe. Daddy, I can't breathe. I'm like, yeah, that's called a stuffy nose. It's not going to change in the next 20 minutes. No need to update me at 1 a.m. I know you can't breathe. Like, you can, though, because you're talking.
Exactly. Like, you may feel that way, but it's actually not as dire as you may think.
So the sleep was like very minuscule last night. I slept almost none because I had to get constant updates from my 7-year-old. Daddy, I still can't breathe. And then there was even like a crying fit at 4. Like, I can't breathe and I can't sleep. And then that's when I woke up because that was just done.
That makes me feel even worse about all those 2, 3 in the morning side hustle ideas I was giving you. Just
Yeah.
texting you. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
man, how about a hot dog stand, bro?
I know. And
You,
they
me,
were
and a
good
hot dog
ideas,
stand.
but I wasn't
They
in the
were.
right emotional space to, really absorb and give you
That's when I'm
positive
wired,
feedback.
though. That's when I'm ready to
Yeah.
go. That's when I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? You know what needs to happen? I need to make a cookie stand, just a traveling cookie stand.
Yeah, and your art stand too. You had a whole bunch of weird ideas.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was aggressive, but I think profitable. You
I
may
think
miss
the
out
best
on that.
idea you had was the porter potty business. I think
porta
there's
potty.
money in that. Yeah.
Make the toilets portable.
Porter potty.
Yep. Never been done.
So anyways, that with notwithstanding, I don't even know words right now. How was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good, man. I mean, I had turkey, I had ham. Are we talking about what we ate, or are we just going to talk about like the general?
I was
of
just
it?
I didn't really care at all, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
That's
just
like,
move
isn't
on.
that such a
waste of time.
Monday morning like water cooler topic? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure you're going
yeah.
to get that on your work calls tomorrow. Hey, everybody, how was Thanksgiving? Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble gobble. And I talked about it in my NC Flipper video, so if you want to know, just watch that. That's better content anyways.
Yeah, I just thrifted every second, or just tried to get out of the house as much as I could. There wasn't as many people as you had, but
Did you release any YouTube videos this week?
I did. Yeah, no, I did. I released one. It was.
Did they flop hardcore?
Yeah, I was wondering if it was
Yeah.
just me.
No, dude,
I
I
was
had
actually going
two.
to talk to you about that.
Even today, my video flopped hardcore because everyone's still traveling back and stuff, right? Like,
Well,
no
then
one's.
also pair that with mediocre content. It's not a good combination.
Yeah, that's valid.
Like, I'm
That's
kind of a
valid,
rising
yeah.
star. You're.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm a
if you
sinking ship.
flatlined or
Sinking ship, yeah.
What's a
Yeah,
polite
like
way
a
to say
sinking
that?
ship, yeah.
Just like dead on arrival.
Yeah, DOA.
No,
So,
just-
Carrie,
yeah,
dude,
mine did flop though, but like,
Okay.
you would notice more than me. I don't get that many views to begin with.
let's talk about reselling. So, first of all,
dude.
me and Carrie, we sell on eBay, we sell on Whatnot, a little on Mercari, and then Carrie sells a lot on Poshmark, right? Or Etsy, one of those.
I actually finally updated my Poshmark last week, so I heard last week. I don't know. I heard this on the Triple Threat or Triple Thrift podcast with Harry
Yeah.
Tornado and stuff.
It's
that
called
on
the
Poshmark-
Not Trash to Cash podcast.
Don't listen to that, but or do. I mean, whatever. But anyway, that you could. I listened to it, so that should tell you. But anyway, like, you could sell most anything on Poshmark now. So I'm like, I'm gonna
I know.
delve
Well,
into
that's
it.
actually I didn't know. I was gonna ask you that because I've heard a lot of people say Poshmark has is their favorite platform to sell on. But I was gonna ask you tonight if it was clothes only. But then I looked it up and found out that they let you do more.
Apparently,
So really,
you can do all sorts of stuff. Just this
that
last
was
week.
Okay. So all this stuff I just said was just rephrasing what Carrie said in more words and less useful.
So I changed my 5,000 follower store on Poshmark, which used to be, of course, On Point Style. That makes perfect sense for my brand.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just American Arbitrage. I'm just going with the bearded, the bearded heartthrob that I am.
I have had like no Mercari sales this week. Mercari sucks. No
Have
one
you been
used
posting
Mercari.
on Mercari though?
No, but I
You
have some
to
postings.
post, just like eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to actually
that's so
feed
lame.
the demon.
I hate that.
I hate the posting part and the selling. I don't like the shipping. I don't even like the
This
money.
is why we should talk about the best platform, Whatnot.
What? No, that's so true though, dude. Like you had a little taste. You had a little taste. You had a little taste of a good auction, and now you're hooked.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, it
But
was
it's
a
so
little
much
bit.
easier. You can see how addicting it is. You can see how I was like, I'm doing 5 auctions last week, and I'll probably do 5 this week. Honestly,
Dude, you totally picked the wrong week to do 5 auctions. Because this week they're dropping PS5s every 10 minutes.
They're doing PS5s tomorrow too, and I have an auction.
I
so.
guarantee you a PS5 gets dropped during your stream. If it doesn't,
curious.
I personally will tell someone that I don't know to pay you $500. They may not do it though.
I'll just accept it from you, dude. I mean, it's like, what's that like what is that like? First 2 minutes of one of your YouTube videos 6 months ago, and that should cover it.
Yeah, not now because now my YouTube's dead as of this week.
YouTube is dead. What's next?
YouTube totally does that to your emotions. Like, here's a super awesome high, and you're dead. And a super awesome high, and you're dead again.
TikTok does that a little bit too, but it's like the lows are a little higher. Like I'll still get like, it's like I don't want to be the guy complaining about getting 20,000 views on a TikTok, And
I love 20,000. That makes me excited when I get that, Carrie. You on your freaking high castle or whatever. I don't know the phrase.
Dude, it's an algorithm. I mean, like, I know how to make content on TikTok, but it's also an algorithm. Once they kind of trust you with that amount of views, you just kind of like YouTube. Like you could put out I'm pretty sure you could just film a trash can for 5 or 6 minutes, and you'd probably still get 1,000 views on your picker channel.
Yeah.
Just wind ASMR, maybe you whispering, like.
Yeah, people asked us to do that more. They really liked it last time. I did go viral like 4 times this week on TikTok, which was fun, and I jumped up to 85K followers.
Dude, isn't that such a rush though? When that happened?
Nice. That felt good.
You were
dead again.
all over it, man. You were like, "Look at me."
Yeah, I was excited.
That I'm better than you Instagram post was a little bit funny coming from your Instagram post because
I had a lot of people send me.
Who was going to see it?
Listen, I had a lot of people send me pictures of their packed up items because last week.
That's so awesome. I hope we continue to do that, guys.
Yeah, continue to see. I told you it doesn't actually offend me, so it didn't really bother me, but it did show me who our true fans are, and you'll be shocked.
You're the
One
best.
of them.
You're so right about the fact that you have no emotions, though.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm always messing with you, and you're always like, I'll set you up, and you'll just say, like, I'm like, so Dawn showed me that you voted that I look like a clown or something, and then you were just like, good. I was like, I can't even bait
Stone
you.
Cold.
Like what a jerk, man.
Dude, I will tell you, I considered watching Mousetrap twice this week. I didn't do it, but I considered it.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch Mouse Hunt if you're going to spend the time to watch a mouse-related movie. Personally,
no, I don't want to watch. Oh yeah, that's true. It's called Mouse Hunt.
Dude, we should one of our lives play Mousetrap like live.
That's a good idea.
Or it's not live; it's recorded.
I mean, we should do a live at some point. Nurse Flipper wants me to come on her live at some point, and she scheduled a day for it, and I don't remember when it is, but I think it's in December or January.
I have another one in December with her and Golden State Picker. I forgot who it was.
Maybe we're together.
I know. I'm saying
Then her podcast would be the world's best podcast.
Choose me if they let you. They were going to let me pick, but I know Commonwealth doesn't like doing lives, and I didn't know if you wanted to do it. So
Commonwealth doesn't have any internet,
which is weird considering what a giant celebrity he is.
I know it's very odd.
You think he could order some like high-speed internet with all that VHS cache?
Yeah, he could actually like create the main hub that feeds his whole neighborhood.
Seriously.
Kind of a philanthropy thing for the boondocks that he lives in.
Exactly. Him with his like, his 5 cameras on him at all times, every angle, and he's the only guy who may have more channels than you have.
Listen, Care Bear, I ordered the new camera from DJI, Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Isn't that what they do with like the
The
what are they
drones?
called? The drones? Yeah.
Yeah, they do drones as well, but they also make cameras. And
Okay.
they have a new one that's like a little square and it clips on like a necklace thing,
Oh
right? Like a
wow.
lanyard that goes around your neck. And it's very small and like discreet comparatively when you consider like a
I like
big
that idea.
GoPro. So I'm gonna try it. Hopefully it comes in, but I think I'm kind of out of luck with the yard sales because there was none yesterday. So might have to wait a little while before I can actually test the waters. But I'm thinking of wearing both, like a madman.
Do it, dude. What me and Dawn have talked about next year is because I still have to get the new GoPro, but the old GoPro she's probably going to wear, and then we'll
Mm,
get footage from both angles, and then maybe I'll edit some stuff for her channel as well, and have her do some
okay.
full length stuff. We'll see if it
If you
works.
try to do the two cam on your own channel, be warned it's really hard to do right. And
You,
a lot of times I've seen folks do it, and it hurts the quality of their videos,
you
not
think?
helps it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to edit. I mean, I like your idea of doing both and then putting her stuff on her channel, your stuff on your channel. If they want to see her perspective, you
Maybe
have
that's
to
just
go
what we'll
watch.
do.
That's better because it cross pollinates the audience. They say, "Oh, I want to go see her perspective at this point."
I
They
think
jump over to her
that's
channel.
happened a little bit with Instagram though, because we're
Yeah.
always sharing each other's stuff and kind of. So I think that's helped her grow a little bit on Instagram, and me too. Probably I've gotten some of her followers as well. So
There's also programs where you can punch in the link to two different YouTube videos and it'll play them side by side. So
wow.
you could teach your audience how to do that, and then they can do their own multicam perspective without you having to try to figure out the audio and stuff because it is complex and messy to do that kind of edit.
Yeah, I would bet. Yeah, I don't know. I need to really, hunker down. When I put my mind to stuff, I'm typically pretty good at it. It's just I don't put my mind to too much.
Yeah, I wish you'd put your mind to combing your hair, but you know, I gotta tell you, Carrie sent me his Memoji last night. I laughed for a good 30 minutes because this dude has his hair like perfectly combed over, his beard all well kept, and I'm like, Carrie, is this how you see yourself, or is this what is
Like
this?
honestly, before the pandemic, I was pretty good. It's just now, I don't know.
Yeah,
Dawn has been telling me every week for like 6 months to be like, go cut your hair, and I just
or
haven't done
just
it.
brush it. Just give it
Dude,
a
I
little.
do. My hair is thick, bro. I brushed it before this. I
You have
swear.
very
Like thick hair. I don't know how to tell
yeah.
you.
Now, I see. Look, when he takes his hat off, it's basically looking like looking at Jason Momoa.
Exactly. Just not
Now
quite.
he's back to Carrie. Dang it.
Yeah. I'm actually probably going to cut it this week. So be prepared for a fresh new Carrie.
Can you tell me to be prepared, but in Scar's sing-song voice?
Be prepared. I forgot how it was. Be
Be
prepared.
prepared for the. You don't remember the Lion King,
No, dude,
bro?
man. I mean, I don't remember. I'm not good with lines. When I want to say like, I keep thinking about Aladdin when I say be prepared. Like Prince Ali, all you can be. Like that's more my speed. And that
Okay,
has nothing to
so
do with what you
Aladdin
said.
is your speed, but Lion King is not. You know, they're in the same wheelhouse, Carrie.
You got to realize I was like 10 when that came out, and you were 9. There's a world of difference between the
That's
two
true. Yeah,
ages.
you were too cool for it.
I
At
was. I
that
was
point.
watching D2 like a adult.
Bro, D2 was my favorite movie for so long.
Dude, it's
Until The
my
Matrix came out. And then The Matrix took over for
well, yeah, like
15
a
years.
legitimate movie. Yes, is better than D2. But as far as like that moment in time and how much I
Yeah.
loved it, nothing will. I will never love a movie as much as I love D2.
Yeah. By the way, TikTok's real bad for conspiracy theories. I saw a really weird one about D2 and some symbols. I'm not even going to go into it.
Dude, there was a great one on TikTok that I shared on my Instagram like 6, 7 months ago, where it was the opening scene where they're like, rollerblading. Because if you weren't rollerblading in the '90s,
I was rollerblading like a
what the hell were
boss.
you
My
doing, guys?
K2s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What were you doing? So everybody was rollerblading because they had to, wearing
Yeah.
their pads and their elbow pads and their helmet. No real people did that, but in movies they always had
No,
to.
I never did.
Exactly. I'm being serious. I'm not saying you shouldn't have, but every movie they always were decked out and stuff that no real kid wore. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, they were talking about how like they skated through the city to get everybody for the team, and they did like the breakdown how it was like 40 miles that they had skated, like from point to point. Like they never discussed how long of a journey that would have been. And there we go. See, I didn't watch the cartoon. That's why I
I
don't
did.
mind selling those in the auction. I got your
I
box
love 'em.
today. I haven't opened it yet, but
Oh,
I'm hoping there's cushioning and some bubble wrap.
where is it? Is it near you or it's at your
It's
house?
it's in my car. Yeah, I'll grab
Okay.
it after.
I was
this.
going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you, although maybe I shipped that to you a while ago. I think I shipped to you a while ago. Did you ever look at those sports cards?
Yeah, that's in that box. I haven't opened it
That's
yet.
in that most recent box. It's not in the one from before.
It
Okay.
looks like that's the box you put it in, and it probably arrived like the day after I left. So it's probably been sitting in
Okay.
my mailbox for like 6 days.
Yeah, I was curious what you thought of them. I am gonna put those uncut cards in the whatnot auction on Wednesday. So
Yeah, that was funny. You're like,
Bolo.
what are those cards called that you can't that you don't pull apart? I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Like a cheesy pull apart from
No, it's the
Little
uncut card.
Caesars?
So for context, guys, it's just like randomly you eavesdropping on a conversation
Yes.
between me and
I'm
Carrie.
not
That's
good
how
at giving
that's how
context,
we're
also.
approaching this podcast today. Is you're just eavesdropping on our conversation. We have an audience and they're listening and they would like to be involved in our conversation, Carrie.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah, we're sorry. We love you. Carrie doesn't love you, but I love you guys. And,
love you, yeah.
and because I love you, make sure to click my Whatnot referral link in the description below, not Carrie's,
And also,
which will
let
be
me
below
let me
it.
tell you something. Let me tell you something real quick about that. Dave doesn't need the money, guys. He doesn't need the money.
It's not money. It's not real money.
Yeah,
it's
you
Whatnot
get
credit.
$10.
No, it's
You both
Whatnot
get
credit.
$10.
It's Whatnot credit.
I'll take the whatnot credit. I
It's
like to
not
spend
money, though, Carrie.
Oh.
It's funny money. It's Whatnot credit. It's money that's going to go to you in the end,
Exactly.
anyways.
Exactly.
The
And
more
then
money I have in Whatnot, the more I buy from you.
Yeah,
It's true.
that is true. That is true.
So it doesn't really matter who gets it.
Yeah, but just in case, just use my referral link. Just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, but definitely use mine.
So anyway, he did it. He's doing a video where you found some uncut cards at a garage sale. Let's bring the audience
Yeah.
back into this,
Yep.
you monster. Okay,
Yep.
he bought some uncut cards in one of his terrible. You said that you're doing this YouTube video. He was like, "Is this a good? Is this what you call it?" Because he sent me the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And he's all like, "I want to make sure it's good for the release of the video in February 17th." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" I wing it. Like I have a video I'm gonna probably put out tomorrow, and I haven't even finished it.
But
And I
dude,
just
here's the
filmed it
thing.
today.
I said that specifically to troll you and to get you
Is
up
it-
in arms.
Is it really that long, or were you joking about how far away it was?
No, it
That's
is that.
intense.
It is that long, but me saying that was to troll you. I didn't need to tell you the date. The date was just to make you feel bad.
But to be fair, to be completely honest, it kind of inspired me. I'm like, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I should just make videos and then just schedule them.
Yeah, it's much better. I've been doing it since the beginning. I recommend it if you can. It means a lot of work up front, but it's the same video you would have released anyways. It's just done early instead of done late. Like, you have to remember the stuff you're seeing on all the YouTubers' channels, except for maybe Cincinnati Picker and Froggy, is pretty delayed. Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, his stuff is months old at times. It's just very hard to keep up. And every
Mine
now
are
and then,
typically filmed that day. That's how intense I am.
and I think Cincinnati Picker does that, but he also only does like one video a week, and they're very short. So he can go to a whole day of yard sales. He'll compress it down to 12 minutes, and that's his video for the week. I can't survive on one video a week right now. I need more than that. So I have to spread them out a little more.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I was trying to find it. It's not actually February 17th, though. I actually can't find that video. I hope I didn't delete it by accident.
I kind of hope you did.
Oh, well, that's
Not gonna
you know
lie.
What? You know what, Care Bear? Yeah, I don't know where it went. Dang it. Yeah. Anyway, so I found some cards. I'm gonna auction them off. So can we talk about the Whatnot auction for a minute? So I
Yeah.
did a Whatnot auction. It's a auction platform that you can use to sell things. And I did a bunch of auctions starting at $1 on Tuesday night. My brother was here helping me. And I sold, I think, something like 56 items.
You killed
And
it, dude.
I brought in $800. So that's
So easy.
Yeah. I mean, shipping it was a pain the next day.
Shipping's a pain, but like the
Yeah.
actual act of like right now, think of it this. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I know I do this. Like now you could just hunt for stuff and immediately go, oh man, I found 50 hats at a yard sale, which has happened to me. And you could be like, I could just buy that. And then immediately, you don't have to go like, this will sell over 5 months. You could be like, maybe take out 2 or 3 gems and put them on eBay if you want.
Yeah.
And then all the rest you can just put through a hat and then mix some other random stuff in. And you got another auction for the week.
And I didn't get anywhere near eBay values. Let's be honest about this, right?
That's true.
I sold a Goodyear Swingster snapback for $24. It's a $70 hat all day long. It just is, right? But to sell that Swingster snapback on eBay, you're looking at probably a month or two, right? And that's that's just the way it is, right? These things don't sell super fast, but they will sell. And I have what I have actually done is I've taken all my hats off eBay. I had over 100 hats listed on eBay, varying prices, $8 all the way up to $70. And I took all these hats down. And I actually had a box that I hadn't listed yet that I was going to do as auctions because, I thought I wasn't sure on the value, but I felt like they were decent. Like I have this Shenandoah apple. I think you saw it, the green and white one
with all the pins on it.
Yeah, that one has no comp, right? But it's super unique, and it's got made in USA and things like that. So I feel like with the right people, it could be a decent auction, maybe a $30-$40 hat. But I couldn't find any sort of comp, so I've decided I'm just going to run them all on Whatnot over the next couple of weeks, because even if I get $8 a piece, I paid 67 cents a piece. So I'm making a profit.
That's the thing. You make the money in the buy. You always make the money in the buy in this business. And if you pay so low, like 67 cents, that gives you a world of different opportunities. You can play the long game. You can play the slow dime. But the thing about the slow dime is you have a $70 Goodyear hat, right? And then a bunch of other hats that are $15 to $20. In a year, you're probably still going to have a few hats sitting around. Yep. You're not going to get all your money out. So do you want to make, a quick $800 or a slow $1,600 or $2,000, whatever?
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, that $800 can be reinvested four times before you get all that money out of your hats, and then you can flip the money over.
And I don't want to go too deep into this because I cover it in my upcoming video as well. But I'll just say this: like,
nobody's watching that, dude.
No one's watching that anyways. But just what I wanted you, because I know you won't watch it specifically, and I wanted your thoughts on this. In the beginning, when I got back into reselling, I told my wife, hey, I'm going to take 1,000 out of our account, and I'm going to get into reselling, and I'm going to get into YouTube, and I'm going to build something, right? And that's all. I'm not going to take any other money from our primary checking, from my bank, from my paycheck, my day job paycheck, et cetera, et cetera. And I haven't. But at that time, when I was buying, it was all about maximizing profit for each individual item I bought, because I had such a limited amount of money to play with. So I wasn't looking to buy something for $1 and sell it for $7. I was looking to buy something for $1 and sell it for the $18 in a month, because I wanted to get as much money out of it as possible so that I'd have more money to play with. So I think it depends on your situation. Like right now, I have way too much inventory. And I'm not like desperate to make the maximum dollars from each item. So for me right now, Whatnot makes a lot of sense, even if I get a third of the price I'd get on eBay. A lot of my viewers are going to be resellers. So that's going to make it much more attractive for them, is if they can get it for a deal where they can resell it and go for the slow dime.
It's true. And I think, honestly, I think a lot of people make the mistake with the slow dime, even when they start, because if you're getting I guess when you're new, you don't really know what to buy. So there is that. So you might need to wait for some things because you've overpaid or it wasn't a hot seller. But if you know what you're doing, like sports cards is a perfect example. If you know who the hot player is right now, you can go buy, you could spend $10 and buy 10 $1 cards and sell them all for $6 to $7 a piece in a week. Or you could buy one $10 card maybe and sell it in 3 months. If you're flipping the money over quickly, you'll actually make more money in the long run. A lot of times people will go, I spent $10 on something, I got to make 80. That's what it's worth. But then I put it in Whatnot and say I make 30 or 35. I'll take that 35 by, 5 more things. And by the time that $80, I would have made that $80, I might have turned that $10 into 300 or 150 because I flipped that money over 5 times in the meantime, if that makes sense.
But that works if you have the confidence that you can continue to source profitable items. If you don't have that, if you take a 4-year break from reselling and you don't have the confidence, you haven't been to yard sales in a couple of years, you haven't been reselling, then you're like, oh, okay, I found some good items this week, but what if I don't next week? Right? I don't want to sell all these and have only a 13% profit when I could have a 50% profit, and that gives me more time and more cash to buy better items. Because that's kind of how I came back into it. Like people would tell me, hey, how come you don't resell anymore? I'd be like, I just feel like I don't know how anymore. Like, yes, I knew how, but I just didn't feel like I knew the markets anymore. And that's one of the biggest hurdles. And at the beginning, it was scattershot. Like, oh, I'll buy all those. Oh, let me buy all those. Let me buy all those. Now I'm going to maximize the money from each of these things so that I can go buy more. But I wasn't sure I'd be able to buy more. I wasn't sure how long yard sales would go. I wasn't sure where the best place to source was. So at that point, it was all about like taking that stuff I had gotten, like the treasure I had captured, and getting the most possible money out of it and not give it away for cheap. So I think it's all about like where you're at in your business, and that's
a
I
good
guess my
point.
big point. Like it
That's a
can't
really good
always
point I
be.
hadn't thought
Yeah.
about, honestly. You're
Yeah.
right. You have to have confidence to do that. And I
Yep.
feel like if this becomes a career or something that you do as a real job, um, you're going to gain that confidence, or you're going to have to fake it till you make it at some point. Because, I look at a lot of people in the whatnot toy community, for example, who are putting their toys up and they're not starting it at $1, which is what I believe you should be doing to get the following and to build up an account, right? They'll start something at $30, $40 because they spent 10, 20, $30. I think they have that mentality. But the truth is, you know, they always have cool stuff because they're not selling it all. Does that make sense? Like if I had every toy I had picked for the last 5 years sitting
Yeah.
behind me, I'd have a ton of toys, man.
Yep.
But I
Yeah.
sell them. I sell
Yeah,
toys.
you let them go.
That's what I do. I sell. I mean, and every week it is a stressful thing, man. I have to replace the stuff, and not every week is as good as the last week. And some weeks are amazing, and then I'm like, just put them all in because I don't care, run it, So
Yep.
there's a lot of nuance when you do weekly auctions, and like me, I really want to build it up to where I can do like multiple every week, every single week, build up a fall. I think it's a big part of the future. I'm more excited about it than eBay right now, even though I got my eBay back and going and selling some big ticket stuff this last week. I just still like Whatnot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I've decided like I totally get that, but I really want to do Whatnot in the way where like I'm doing one auction a week. This is what I've decided. I don't know if I told you this. I've decided I want to do one auction a week every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the correct time zone.
Hot take. I disagree, but that's all right.
Okay, so tell me when TV schedules are planned by. Which time zone?
Who's watching TV, Dave? It's 2021. You just watch it on your phone now, bro. So
Anyways,
next.
so wait, I got a text message from Whatnot. Oh, they said you're kicked off. Sorry, bro.
They sent you a sorry, bro. Carrie got kicked off.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it.
Actually, dude, this is so funny. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I was about to say, and then I'm going to read you this text message, which I plan on responding to Whatnot with the word yes. Okay, so that's a build-up, all right?
Okay.
So anyways, the way I want to do Whatnot is I want to come in once a week and do an auction. And what category it's in is going to be whatever I decide for that week. So my first week I did magic cards. Second week I did hats. This next week I'm doing hats, so that's this Wednesday. Tomorrow, if you're listening to the podcast, on Tuesday. But the next week I'm not going to have enough hats. And I'm not going to be able to source a bunch of hats. So the next week, I'm going to probably do, like, action figures. Because I have a bunch of Star Wars sealed. I've got some Star Wars Black Series. I've got all this crap I bought from you that I could put in there. That I've been buying from Eric, the OBX Picker, I could put in there. I've got a bunch of Spawn loose. I've got a bunch of Dragons and Spawn sealed. So I'm going to do an action figure auction. And then the week after that, I'm probably not going to want to do an action figure. So I'll probably do, like, ephemera. And then the week after that, I'm going to do, like, records. And so Whatnot just texted me.
All right.
And they said, "Hey, Dave, what category do you sell in on Whatnot?" And I'm going to respond, yes.
That's funny, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's. I think that's where I think my auction will eventually go as well. A little bit more. Like I'm going to be doing the action figures as the main thing, but like I was thinking tomorrow, I'm going to start experimenting. Like I might throw in a piece of Pyrex. I might try to do like one auction being action figures and pop culture, and the other one being action figures, as my base, and like vintage. So like ephemera, like throw in because like I had some good responses when I was throwing in some random, picker stuff. I'm not going to throw in a pot or a pan, but I mean like if it's something like a cool piece of ephemera, I think because a lot of people who are watching our auctions are flippers, a lot of them.
But word on the street is you have a nice brownie pan you could throw in.
Oh, dude, yeah. Just be warned.
Throwback.
Be warned. It's a bit dangerous.
Yeah. So here's the question: will I get banned from Whatnot for not sticking to a category?
I don't think so.
We'll see. I responded yes. I responded yes, and then I said yes. A few.
I don't think they would ban you. I don't know why they would ban you at all.
I think if I can do like multiple weeks in different categories and always bring in good, decent money, then they'll be like, yeah, this is fine. We're fine with how he's doing.
But
Also, if I
also,
keep referring this many people, because I don't even want
yeah,
to tell you how
also,
many
I
people I
think,
referred, Carrie.
also, I think a lot of it has to do with the people you're bringing in, the
Yeah.
value you have as a source of people. And as long as you're putting on like a good, clean, fun auction that's not causing drama, not,
Yeah.
not lying, not doing any of that stuff, I don't see why they would have an issue. The only thing I wonder is like if you skew too far, and myself, because I'm wondering the same thing, if you skew too far into the other category, like where it's just random, will they? I think the worst that could happen is they'd be like, yeah, that's not yet, kind of thing. Like, so we're not
Yeah.
doing those auctions yet. I don't think they're gonna get. I don't think they'll care, as long as everybody likes you. You're not like some auctions are like, man, some auctions are intense on whatnot. Like most everybody's really cool, but occasionally it's like, whoa, I don't
Yeah.
know if you should be selling here. You're really aggressive.
There is some people on whatnot that like just turn on the camera and just talk to it.
Yeah.
And they're not like selling anything. I went in one and I said, "So are we auctioning or not?" And the guy's like, kind of passive aggressively, he's like, "Yeah, I can run an auction. What do you want to do? How about bid on this?" And he like pulls out like a Funko Pop signed by Stan Lee. He's like, "Just let you know that we're starting the bidding at 10 grand." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What?
This is not a whatnot. This is a auction pet peeve of mine because I've done auctions, live auctions for years in person, and the idea of an auction is for an auction to be successful, it has to be mutually beneficial. And I'm going to get deep in this one, guys. This is going to be Carrie being serious. It has to be mutually beneficial. You can't be doing an auction just trying to make money for yourself. Obviously, you're not going to do it if you're not making money for yourself. Obviously, but that can't be your mindset. You have to come in thinking they need deals. I need to make sales. Occasionally, I'm going to give. Occasionally, I'm going to take. Occasionally, they're going to give. Occasionally, they're going to take. That's why you do a dollar auction. You've seen my auctions where $10 toys go for $30
Yep.
and $30 toys go for $3. I mean, that's
Yes.
just how it is. And I'd say it probably ebbs a little bit at the start more towards the buyer's favor, but that's all good. It's all in
Yeah.
the sake of building up an account and building up a following. Go on I know you hate sports, but go on the sports card auctions. Card Collector 2, I love his auction. He has a huge following on YouTube and Instagram. He has 400 people in his lives.
Wow.
It shows you what's possible on whatnot.
Wow.
And they are bidding $70, $80 on $40 cards for 5 hours straight.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's what I want. I want people to pay what they want and get deals. I'm not saying that I want people to overpay, but people will want to be in your auction. They'll want to support. They'll want to overpay for something they enjoy because they want to buy something from you. I think that's the future if you play your game right.
Yeah, and speaking of that, so Paul the Philly Flipper, not sponsored,
Not
joined
sponsored at
the
all.
Whatnot.
At all.
Well, maybe I am though.
Dawn's here.
Oh, hi, Dawn.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I just called Shade and I told her about what happened to us at Savers, how they recognized me.
Oh, yeah. Dawn got recognized at Savers today
Whoa.
before me, and I'm not upset about it.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's because she's quicker.
It's true. She is. They're like, oh, are you on TikTok? And then they saw me and they said, are you on TikTok? And I said, I'm on TikTok. And then she said, I'm on TikTok. So we're all on TikTok, apparently.
That story didn't go as far as I wanted it to go.
Yeah, no, Dawn has been very excited for like 7 hours straight.
That's good.
That was
I'm
the
glad.
first time, though, that she had somebody for TikTok. She's had people for her furniture before. So, I mean, it's not like you where you're getting noticed all the time.
Well, no, because she acted like like a little schoolgirl, the way she was all,
I don't even know if he can hear you, Dawn.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, she acted like she was very excited, is what she's saying.
Yes.
This is not the best.
So I have this thing, right? Like where I do seem to get recognized every weekend, but I've started to finally
Just teasing you, babe.
I've started to finally put something together. I'm a little bit like face blind. Okay, so like I can see you and meet you many, many times and not remember who you are when I see you like a year later. Probably I've seen you enough because I have to edit your ugly mug
Thank you.
that I would recognize you 5 years down the road. But often in my job, like I go to trade shows and stuff, and I know you don't work, but at some jobs you have to go to trade shows.
Never. Why would I do that?
And people say, "Hey, Dave, how's it going?" I'll be like, "Hey, you, buddy, what's up?"
Oh,
Like I can't remember their faces, right?
I hear
And so
you.
I've started to think maybe there's only one fan that I see yard sailing, and I just forget her face every week.
time it's the same one. I had somebody. I got to tell you this. I think it was 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
somebody, and this guy is my hero. He came up so nonchalantly, and I was just walking with my basket as I do, nothing in there because I'm not finding anything. I'm not really good at this. And he came up with his son, and he's all like, "Hey, there's Carrie over there. He picks, or he's a picker, or he buys and sells stuff." And I look up, and I'm like it took me like a bit because I'm like, I don't know you, right? Like I can't remember your face. And like he said it, it wasn't like he just said it like he knew me. You sometimes forget people kind of do know you
Yeah.
when they come up to you, like you don't know that. It's weird. I've heard this from big people. It's like,
Yeah.
they have this relationship with you, and it's not
Like my 500-pound life or 600-pound life.
yeah,
those
exactly.
Kind of
They know you, and you may actually even talk to them online, but you know them by a persona. You don't know their face, you know, all the time. Sometimes you do. So it's like, it was weird. I'm like, okay, I caught on. It took me like way too long to catch on to what was going on, but
yeah. It's a weird thing.
It is.
But yeah, I was very excited because my brother came out with me and I got recognized, and it was just like
Oh, Dawn, I'm telling you,
moment
Dawn,
of pride.
Dawn was trying to play it cool, and then we got back into the van, and she just wouldn't. She was so excited. She just kept going. She was super excited. It was cute. It's fun though. It's exciting. She should be excited.
So I also sold $800 this weekend on eBay.
Ooh, oh, really?
Yes.
How much did you spend? What was your spending? Like $750 to get that 800?
No, I didn't make a profit. I spent at least $12.50.
Did they get profit, dude?
What are you, crazy? I pay retail, bro. You didn't know that?
Oh yeah,
I pay
dude,
retail.
I know.
No, okay, so let me tell you a story. I went to a yard sale last weekend with my brother. There was no yard sales this weekend. It was too cold. But the weekend before, I went with my brother. And I'm shopping around, and I see this guy has an old Levi's jacket. And I have heard from resellers that old Levi's stuff can be decent. Okay, but I'm not a clothes guy. I think you do more clothes than me, but still not that much of it.
Not much, yeah.
Well, this thing was like a brown suede, like cowhide jacket. Yeah. Have you ever seen such a thing?
Sounds like it could be valuable, but also ugly.
But it's ugly, right? It's ugly.
Yeah.
It's dirty. It's stiff. You remember like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry gets a suede jacket and then he has to go out in the rain in it? And it gets, well, listen, the viewers do, so I don't care what you think. There's a great episode of Seinfeld where, he's out with Elaine's father, Mr. Bennis, and he has to wear his suede jacket, this really wonderful jacket, which is incredibly ugly, out in the rain. It gets ruined because suede really can't handle wet, which means it's literally the worst possible thing to make a jacket out of. Sure. But somehow, for some reason, in the 70s and 80s, they did it, and even the early 90s. And so this is one of those jackets that's been in the rain. Like, you can tell it's like stiff to the touch in spots. It's got stains on it, all that stuff. And it just looks like a piece of crap to me. But because I hear people like you say, always remember when you're at the thrift store to look out for suede.
Do you like my voice? The little
that was the Carrie voice.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Anyways, so I was like, I got to buy it. And so I go up to the guy, I'm like, how much you want for this jacket? And he's like, how about $10? And I was like, it's pretty crappy. Like, I'm like talking trash.
You're really confident about this garbage.
I'm like, I don't, like, cause I have no clue, no context as to what it can be worth. In my brain, I'm like, okay, so in a good condition, it's probably worth like $40. In crappy condition, maybe I can get 20 for it. So I talk him down to 5, 50% discount.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Carrie, the most recent sold comp is $325.
That's amazing. See, that's why people do give us a lot of crap about the negotiation, because we're coming in after the video, and maybe you've been on Instagram telling people how much it's worth, but they don't realize we're not typically, a lot of us aren't looking at our phones at the yard sale. We're just like, I got a Tony Hawk skateboard, 1983, like 2 years ago. For it was $10, and I talked him down to 5 because my head was exactly the same way. I'm like, this is an old skateboard, $30-$40. I'm like, $5. I got to hedge my bets just in case it's not worth $30-$40. And then I found out it was worth $400. So that happens. You kind of have to use your instinct, but your instinct could be off by hundreds of dollars.
So, okay, the condition it's in, there's no way I'm getting $300 to $400 for it. Like, I don't know if you can repair suede. I doubt you can. So I listed it for $200 or best offer. I've already had several best offers come in today since I listed it. Highest one right now is $145, but I kind of want to give it 24 hours before I accept it. But this again, definitely was feeling like when I was editing the video today, I was like, oh, I really probably should have given the $10. Like, but I didn't know.
But that's the context that you can't really even explain unless you do like a unless you just take over the whole screen on a green screen like Paul.
Like
Billy
Paul
Picker,
does,
just,
yeah. But he's just really obsessed. He's like a
just like
narcissist.
7-minute voiceover.
Yeah.
Just like, dude, get back.
Let
to
me,
picking
guys,
up
let me stop this 3-minute yard
boppets or
sale
whatever you're
video.
doing.
Let me stop this 3-minute yard sale video to talk to you for 14 minutes.
Exactly. If you were looking for
As-
a natural point to leave this video, go ahead now.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and point the camera up so I look even more gigantic than I am, which is already plenty gigantic.
I'm just waiting for him to just do one video where it's just like his shirt and his head like is out of frame, and he's just talking about a yard sale
It's just
that
his
we
lips.
can't see. We can't even see it.
Paul, comment down below on your opinion of our opinion of you.
Exactly. No, I'm just kidding. I like Paul's videos quite a bit, honestly.
Yeah, they're decent.
That's all I'm giving him. That's all I'm giving him. Half an ounce of sincerity.
Anyways, my point was that today or yesterday, some guy was in there trolling me on TikTok, which is shocking. And he was calling me a POS lowballer, blah, 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 right? And let me tell you guys, really important context, I don't know what every single item in the universe is worth. I don't. I just don't. I may one day, but probably not.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. Like, I have a limited amount of knowledge of the value of items, and I can kind of apply that to many categories, but it doesn't mean I'm a professional every single category. So when I go to someone and I say, hey, I'll give you $40 for these vintage video games, it's not because I know they're worth $9,000. It's because I want to make sure I spend as little as possible in case they're not worth $9,000, in case they're not worth $100.
That's a great point.
It's not specifically to screw people over. It's because they're taking a gamble in selling them on the free open market without having to do any research or anything like that. And I'm taking a gamble and not doing research and just buying it on the spot. Exactly. And, they'll tell me, well, Dave, you should just comp everything at the sale. Well, I would get to a lot less sales if that were the case, because we have this tiny window of 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. that I can get to sales at. And then after that, it basically dies here. So I've got 5 hours, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 hours to get to as many sales as possible. I don't have time to pull out my phone and look up every single item.
Math is not your strong suit either. So
no,
you have to wing it.
And so I'm arguing.
That's a very good point. People don't realize, sorry, I keep butting in.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, people don't realize that we are just, like, I can't tell you how many, you probably get these too, like messages where people are like just straight up, how much is this? I'm like, dude, you know how I figure out how much this is worth, right? Like, I may have particular knowledge on this thing, maybe, but I'm just going to look up on eBay and then come back and tell you what eBay says. Just do it.
Yeah,
like,
I've had 3 people this week. 3 people like, hey, NC Picker, what are these cups worth? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Let me go to Google Lens and I'll tell you. And for some reason, I do it because I'm a psychopath. I actually go to Google Lens and I look up the value and I send them a screenshot of the eBay sold comp. And I'm just like, well, they probably could have done that themselves.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to like balance that because I want to be helpful and I understand what it's. Well, I remember vaguely what it was like to be new and have no idea really on certain things. And really all it is just a skill set. Like you recognize patterns. You know that this coat, you heard about it. Like literally, it's like that. I heard about this coat from other resellers. It fits that vibe. The price $10, like that's probably doable. But let's get them down a little bit because I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a coat guy. I don't know what exactly guy you are, but you're not a coat guy. You might be just like, I don't know what you do, like buttons or something.
Toys is probably my specialty. But I'm still not amazing at that. It's just something I like the most, so I buy it the most.
Well, you're like a lot of pickers. Like you're just, a lot about a lot of things. And that's really, I think, how you can make consistent money if you're doing garage sales initially, primarily. Yeah.
Well, and so here's the point. I went thrifting this week because I had time, right? I wasn't working the day job, so I had time to go thrifting. I hated most of it because, like, I'm sure you saw my story because you can't keep your eyes off me. But I did that story with that giant Sven ride-on toy.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
So basically, Sven is from the movie Frozen.
Frozen.
Okay. That's a film made by Disney Pixar. I think, is it Pixar? Maybe not Pixar, but definitely Disney.
No, I think it was only Pixar that was involved in that one.
No, that doesn't sound right. But anyways, they had this big Sven that's like 3 feet tall, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. I know for a fact, because my daughters have the one from Tangled, which I can't remember that horse's name. It's not Sven, though. But anyways, they had the Sven version from Frozen. And I know my daughter's one that they have is worth like $100. And at my thrift store, they're selling this Sven, and I was like all excited, gonna buy it. I'm figuring, oh, they can't be charging more than $10 for this plastic horse. They're charging $75. So I was like, ah. And then I started looking at the toy bags, like every toy bag. I'm telling you, I went there like a year ago, and all the toy bags were like $3 to $4. Now they're all like $9 to $10. Every toy bag I was pulling out, $9 to $10, $9 to $10,
Yeah.
and it was frustrating, but I still picked out some bags, and I'm happy to report that I'm decent at picking, and I made a profit on every single bag.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, and one of the bags I got for $10, the total value of that bag was right around 60.
Nice.
So that was pretty good. And then another bag was like 25, and then another bag was like 40. So all my bags were profitable, but I did still fail because I bought a Sega Genesis. Because guys, I don't know everything about everything. I figured Sega Genesis were worth more than $35. They're not. They're
Really?
worth just about $35. So that's something to remember.
Did it have remotes and everything?
Yeah, has controllers, but if you look up say, I mean, you wouldn't even assume that because you know, just like me, you have
Plus,
knowledge
the
on.
market's up on everything right now. So
Yeah.
That's,
And maybe it's a specific one I found, but when you look up Sega Genesis with controllers, they're selling for about $35. I paid $35 for it, and I make those mistakes all the time. And I also try to mitigate those mistakes by paying as little as possible at yard sales, like with this jacket, like with my video game buy when I bought a bunch of N64 games. Because I knew, hey, some N64 games are valuable, some aren't. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to offer her this amount. If she says yes, great. If she says no, that's fine. So this is because some guy was on my N64 buy trolling me about how I only offered her $40 for a buy that's worth $500, which I don't think the buy was worth $500. I think it was worth more like $250 to $300. And so I keep like going back and forth about how like the free market works and capitalism and, you know, the fact that stores have a lower cost of goods than the customer pays.
you made a mistake by even trying to explain it.
But did I? Because I feel like I ended it perfectly, right?
Oh,
And he
did
keeps
you?
responding. Yeah. He keeps responding and like arguing back. And he called me a Karen at one point. And at the very end, I said, thank you so much for all the comments. I've probably racked up like 100 views from you commenting. Every time you comment, I win again.
Dave. Yeah, dude, I've gotten ice cold when it comes to like, I just don't respond to any kind of, like, I don't mind like sincere questions or even sincere critiques. It's when it comes off as kind of flippant or like stuff like that, where it's like, you have to explain the economy of what we're doing. You know, first off, like, I don't know. It's like if somebody has their mindset on something, you know, they're not looking for a discussion or a debate or a, like, you know, like just like two people talking about an issue. They're looking to just say what they want to say.
And
so
walk
I don't
away.
I don't have time for that. I'm too busy, you know, watching TikToks than to comment on my own TikTok.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so I released the dumbest TikTok. Like, just really, really dumb.
It's very true. Which one?
The ET one. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, that was. I don't know if that was like really kind of abrupt, and I don't know what the point of it was.
There was no point. The point was that I was eating lunch and I was editing footage and I was trying to get NC Picker scheduled out through 2024.
Yeah.
And no, I was just trying to get a couple of videos edited, and I was like, I need to do a TikTok today. And as I'm sitting there eating my lunch, I created like a 9-second TikTok that had no point at all. Like, it was just, here's an ET bubble bath thing. I paid $1. I sold it for like $8. It was a crappy flip. And then I added the ET theme music, and the thing has 700,000 views.
This is the brilliance of that, though. Like, this is what's important in TikTok. If you want to get into, you know, doing TikToks, is you have to just do stuff like that. Sometimes you just throw stuff out half baked, or just you throw stuff out not really understand. Like, I think you realized ET was a good selling point. Like, ET is interesting to a lot of people.
Nostalgia, yeah.
Nostalgia. So you have the nostalgia angle. I've done videos where I'm like, I'm not sure exactly if this will work, but I'm just going to throw it out. And sometimes I'm surprised on what sticks. So yeah,
so
now you probably have that weird niche. Like, I don't know if you follow any TikTokers who like get a hit video and then and I've done this obviously, like I kind of repeat the theme because it pays out every time. You may just like be the ET guy now and you don't even know it.
I have an ET plush that I'm putting through the Whatnot auction.
Legit figure out like how to do a video on that.
Oh, I could do it in 5 seconds. I just got to find where I bought it. Where did I buy that? I just got to find the old footage. It'll be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth that much. I think it's worth like $15, but I
I
probably only
don't.
paid a buck
Also,
for
I
it.
don't think it really matters how much stuff is worth. I mean, I
No.
think you can get a ton of views on a really great pick, like where you find an amazing item, but sometimes it's just the weirdest stuff people latch onto that you don't
Yeah,
realize. It's
you're
like
constantly releasing stinkers. Like, as far as like
sometimes,
profit margins, and I'm just like, really? You sold it for
yeah,
this sells for. I found this. Be on the lookout for these coffee mugs at thrift stores.
it's like eight
I paid
bucks.
only $2 for it. I'm like, okay, yeah. So what's this worth? I'm excited. And you're like, and it's gonna get me at least $12. I'm like, oh, come on.
But it's honestly, but that's like the truth of it, and it also
Yeah.
people still view it because they
Yeah,
find it interesting.
yeah.
People are still surprised that Starbucks thing is worth anything. That's
Yeah,
that's the
true.
truth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and a lot of what we're doing as you're gaining more and more people, as you're getting towards that 100,000, is you're going to be getting a lot more people that are not resellers.
yeah.
You're just
yeah,
people who are interested in what you're doing, interested
yeah.
in the fact that anything is worth anything that they're wanting to throw away, like in the secondhand market. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like at 725,000, whatever I'm at, like, I have to start reaching out to different parts of different demographics, not just people who are interested in reselling.
No, that's
You know,
valid. Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about that, like the whole like, and I know, guys, we're talking a lot about content creation, and I know some or most of you are probably just resellers. So we shouldn't talk too much about content creation. But even if you're not a content creator, I'm sure you could find this interesting as a consumer of content, right? So
Yeah.
it still is applicable and interesting. But I do think there is that like fine line, even on YouTube, of I'm too reseller focused in my videos to the point where like I'm gonna box out the casual audience.
Yeah.
And I'm actively and intentionally doing that on my NC Flipper channel. I'm intentionally boxing out normies and saying, hey, you basically have to be a reseller to play in this playground, right? Like, unless you're just like my personality, I don't have many people who view me who aren't resellers on NC Flipper. On NC Picker, though, it's the other way around. It's all over the place. And so I have to try not to be too overwhelmingly reseller oriented, right? Like, so I like what Paul is doing with the green screen. But if he was, and he's not actually doing 12-minute voiceovers about what to flip and what not to flip, but if he were to go that far and say, okay, I'm going to stop this thing you're enjoying and talk for 15 minutes about the different varieties of these air filters, right? He's going to box out the normies and the people who aren't into reselling. And that is something you have a danger of doing if you're not careful, even more so on TikTok, I would say.
Yeah. It's true. Like, the videos that do best on TikTok for me, for example, are typically just like, they're not even so much about how much I made. Occasionally it's just like, one of my biggest videos is I just found like a cool dinosaur telephone. I made like $15 on it, dude. I didn't make,
Yeah.
profit. which is money, but it was just, I think people thought that was cool. It was on a table in a random garage sale, and it was nostalgic and interesting. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I went to a
And
yard
you can
sale
also
with my
flip them, so it's good for that audience too who wants to flip.
yeah, it kind of applies to everyone. I went to a yard sale with the most awesome character I've had in a while, Carrie. And I'm really scared that I'm going to like squander this opportunity because it's the opportunity for 100,000 view video on YouTube. And probably 1 million on TikTok. But I have to figure out how to frame it correctly. But basically, we get to this point where this woman has been arguing with the other buyers at her sale about these purses for like 10 minutes about the price, right? And they're trying to lowball her, and she's like a flea market seller, right? A swap meet seller. So she knows the value of her items, and they're going back and forth and back and forth, and she's just like really in your face, like auntie kind of person. That's what it reminded me of. My auntie, who is just very aggressive and like, you know. And anyways, that all goes down, and like as they leave and they finally come to a price. So she has a donut phone. You know what a vintage donut phone is? It's like the phone that's like shaped like a donut. It's like a big circle. It's like a hand.
Oh, I don't know what that
Anyways,
one is.
she has a donut phone, and she's going back and forth with
Like
these
an actual
people.
donut, like that you plug in, or was it a cell phone?
It's a not a cell phone. It's like an actual old school 70s telephone.
Oh, okay, I know. I
Yeah,
think I know
that
what you're
looks
talking
kind of like a donut. It's a circle.
about. Okay.
So this video is going to go live on my NC Picker probably this week at some point. I'm not sure which day yet. Maybe as soon as tomorrow, based on how big of a flop today's video was. I need to juice my channel a little. But right after she finishes like with this big argument, this big battle, she had already told me she wants $10 for this phone, right? I didn't want to pay $10 because it was sitting out in the rain overnight. Not the rain, but the dew. So it was like dripping wet. And so I was pretty confident it probably wouldn't work anymore. And so I hold up the phone right after she finishes fighting with them and I say, $5. And she's like, oh, you're going to make me so angry. In this like thick German accent. It's so good.
Oh, dude. Like, is it perfectly framed in the video there?
Well, I'm not showing her face, but yeah, you see her standing there with her arms crossed like this. You make
have,
me
like,
so
the
angry.
item and stuff.
I'm holding the item. Yeah, see, I gotta
dude,
look
I
at the
love it.
thumbnail and see if I can figure that out. But it's like such a good moment. And then she tells me I'm not a gentleman. Like, there's like basically a fight.
Dude. That's so good. That's juicy, man.
It's so good. I really.
I'm curious on what your thumbnail strategy, or like what your tagline strategy is for that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you.
That might be too inside baseball.
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, but then I'm gonna release it sooner than this podcast. I'm gonna have to do it that way because.
Oh, you don't have to tell me, dude. If it's
the audience wants to know. The audience wants to know because they've already watched it. Hopefully, today's video is such a flop. I got to do something. I got to release something else that's not crappy. Today's video sucks. But yeah, no, so basically I do have her framed. I've got, the frowny face or the angry face emoji in the thumbnail. And, oh no, where is it? Did I accidentally lose it? Oh, I said, I made her mad, ! Right?
There we go.
And then, in the like title of video, I named it, she got angry at everyone at this garage sale.
That's good.
So that's where I think I'm at. Although, as I look at the thumbnail from far away, this is a design trick for any of you guys who do design, do advertising, do marketing, do anything like that. This is a trick my friend taught me who's a designer. He's a UI designer. He's made a couple video games. He knows what he's talking about. Look at your thumbnail, look at your ad, whatever it is, from far away. Zoom out. Ooh. If you can still get your core message from being super zoomed out, then you have a good thumbnail. If when you zoom way out, it's confusing or messy and doesn't instantly say what you want it to say, you need to try again. That's an important design tip for you.
Is that visually or with the words? Like
visually. It's all about visual. Words aren't necessary at all. I like words, but you don't have to use words if you can get the message across without them. But it's more that people can only really grasp like one or two things when they're looking at something quickly. And so what do you want them to grasp? And can they grasp it from a super zoomed out view on their small cell phone or whatever they're looking on instantly? Like they can look at that and say, ooh, I'm intrigued. And if they can't, then it's probably got too much on it. It's probably, you need to take stuff away. If you see these thumbnails where there's like just words and words and words and just all these words, and then there's an arrow on top of that, like it's not going to do as well as if you maybe just had the arrow. Just that one thing, like this is something you want to say. This arrow is pointing where I want you to look, but that thing it's pointing at has to be intriguing enough to not require words. Same as if you're going to have words, they have to be something that get you like, ooh, I'm going to react viscerally to these words, and I'm going to try to figure out what they're all about. That's, I do marketing as part of my job, guys.
That's so hard for me, man. I really struggle with that, and I don't know why. I think I'm fairly good at certain aspects of that, but I have trouble when I feel like my video doesn't have a hook, like the video itself.
No, that happens.
I don't know what to latch on to. That's interesting enough to get people,
I think you need to accept in that scenario that it may not be a super well performing video. And that's just, they're not all going to perform well. And sometimes there is nothing huge that happens. And a lot of people in that scenario will decide not to release. I won't. I still release it. Because you never know. Know.
I just feel like I can't be choosy because it's hard enough for me to get to actually do a video. I'm just like, I just got to put it out. Whatever happens, happens.
But I mean, as I look at this video from far away, the thing I want them to see is that angry emoji. And I want them to see her arms crossed, and I can't see it. So I now see that this thumbnail is not good. It's not good enough. So I got to try again. But that's, and again, not necessarily for creators, but you could apply that to any sort of creative job you might have in your day job, marketing, things like that. So I still think it's useful.
You could use that as a good tip for your eBay pictures, even. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
If that first picture you have as you're scrolling is not No, I'm being serious. Like,
No, I know you're being serious, but it reminded me of the most ludicrous eBay posting I saw when I was comping Pokemon cards, where
right?
this woman,
Do tell.
this woman, has this Pokemon card right in front of her chest.
Yeah,
and she's
that's,
wearing a
I knew
low
where
cut
this was
shirt.
going. I had this idea.
Like, so basically, like, you see the picture and like all you see is her chest, and it's like, oh, there's a Pokemon card there. And this comp, it was a sold comp, sold for 4 times the amount of all the other same cards.
Wow. That's insane.
They all sold for $5. Hers sold for 20. Like, magically, your life will be filled with this woman's chest if you buy this card versus the
That's
other
insane.
card.
That's wow. I didn't think it would go for more money. I'm like, you're just.
It went for more money. It went for more
Wow.
money. It was an auction. It went for 4 times as much. I don't know if it was Jolteon. I mean, I should try to find it so I can, share it with you guys. But it was pretty hilarious. But they knew how to market. They knew how to market. And they got the message across, I guess.
It's sold. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's interesting. See, I wouldn't
But
have
yeah.
thought it would have done better. That's interesting.
I sold Carrie a tabletop big shot hockey today from the 70s. You know those old like
Nice.
tabletop
Yeah.
hockey games with the metal guys and you like
Yeah.
pull them and
Have fun shipping that, man.
So what I did, and this is probably a bad call, and everyone always asks me, Dave, record more of your shipping, and again, I've told you this, no, it's awful, and I'm sweating, and I'm bleeding, and I'm miserable, but this is how I packed this sucker. I just wrapped it in paper, brown paper, and I taped the whole I used a whole roll of tape so that it'd be weatherproof, but this is literally just the box, the item itself, with brown paper on it, and then tape. That's all I did.
Yeah,
Risky-
it just depends on who it gets to. I think most people wouldn't care as long as it arrived safely. But like I come from a household that has a little bit different thoughts on shipping. Like Dawn is let's see how many rolls of bubble wrap we can use on this one action figure, and I'm like, just throw it in a garbage bag and just put 2 stamps on it and see if it makes it. I don't even know if we need the address.
Well, so the only reason I did it is because
exaggerating.
the box is incredibly firm. Like it's a sturdy box. It's more sturdy than most like boxer. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever ordered from the Boxery on eBay. They sell brown boxes. They're very thin and trashy, and they're not like doing a great job of getting your item there safely. But they're the cheapest, so you buy them because you're like, I need boxes and I don't want to spend a lot on boxes. But this is like 4 times as firm as one of those Boxery boxes, so I feel pretty good about it as long as they're not overly aggressive. Now, here's what I did, and people have talked down to me on this, and I want to know your opinion. The customer bought and paid for UPS ground. Both hands. Up higher. Both hands, yeah. Okay. UPS ground. I decided that UPS ground is too tough on shipments because they just are. So I paid a little extra to ship it priority mail USPS. Now that is not what they paid for. But it is a faster service. So would you say that's wrong or right or what?
Honestly, you do whatever you think you need to do to get it there safely. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you need to pay a couple extra bucks and maybe you didn't foresee ahead of time that that's what you wanted to do, because initially I would put that in the price for the shipping. That this is going to go USPS, so
Yeah.
or whatever.
It cost me like $10 extra. But
Yeah,
I just for the
would do
peace
it
of
if I
mind.
felt more comfortable for the peace of mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd do the same thing. I mean,
But I just don't know
I'm-
if they're going to be upset because like they don't like USPS and they only want to use UPS ground
don't think
or
I don't
UPS
think-
in general. Like
I think very few people are like that. Very
I
few
do too.
people are going to get
I
a
do too.
brownie pan and think you're trying to kill them. But there is
Well-
that small subset that does.
for the many years I did eBay before I was on YouTube, I would regularly get a package, right? Sell something and, miscalculate the weight. Like something like this, right? This, I'm holding up like an action figure that's kind of chunky, right?
Yeah.
So this action figure is probably like 12 ounces. And you don't need to see it, guys, if you're listening. It's just a 12 ounce action figure. And when you get that in a box, depending on the thickness of the box, it could be a first class package. It could be 15 ounces. Or it could be a priority package because it's over a pound, right? A lot of times I would always err on the side of caution and I'd say, okay, it's going to be a 1 pound package and I'm going to ship it priority. But if I was able back in the day to get it into a box at 15 ounces, I would change it to first class, ship it first class. But I got just totally flayed on my YouTube channel for doing that because it wasn't the level of expediency that the customer paid for. So I haven't done it anymore for the last year and a half because I don't want to get slaughtered. But
Yeah.
I did used to do that, and I never ever had a single customer complain. In the years and years that I did it.
mean, I would do something to that effect if it were like I mishandled like the dimensions or something, and to ship it priority, it was going to be $40 or $80 or something. That's happened to me. And then like UPS or FedEx
Yeah.
is 20.
Yeah.
I will just ship it FedEx. I've never had one complaint. I'd only do that if
Yeah.
I made a mistake and it's going to be like $30 difference to ship it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't pay for that. They didn't pay $50 for shipping. They paid 20. So
Exactly,
then I
yeah.
don't really feel super bad because they didn't, I made a mistake, but they also didn't pay for $50 shipping.
I think 95% of
nobody
customers,
cares, really.
yeah, 95% of customers just want the item to get there.
They just want it to get there as fast as possible,
Yeah.
reasonably fast and
Yeah.
safely. Very few people care, about, how it looks when it. That's what I've always thought. Like, you don't want to put it in, like a cereal box. But to be honest, like, you don't need to. It doesn't have to have, blue packing paper. It doesn't have to have a note, with like a, one of those seals that
Yeah.
wax seals
Yeah.
on it. It doesn't need all that.
Yeah.
Wax seals should be saved for only important letters, as you
I
also know.
sold a kitty surprise. Do you know what a kitty surprise is?
Turds?
No, a kitty surprise is a plush from early 2000s, late 90s. There was some when we were younger too, but they've had them around for a while. And it's like a kitty plush, and it's got little baby kitties inside of it. And
Nice.
I sold that on eBay for $8 or $9. And the customer paid, I think, $9.50 to ship it priority £1. Okay. Arrives to the customer in a USPS priority flat bubble mailer, right? Flat rate bubble mailer, because I fit it in there and it was like, it was just easier. I didn't want to waste a box. I didn't want to pack it up, and it fit in there fine. And so I just did that. And, the cost of a flat rate bubble mailer is like $8 now, right? So it's like $1 cheaper. Customer messaged me very angry. This was the first time this has ever happened. Angry for two reasons. One, she didn't think I did a good enough job describing it, which I didn't really describe it at all. I just took pictures, which is what I always do. I don't ever really put a description anymore, because people generally don't read them. Like, even if I put an in-depth description, they just write me and say, I didn't know it was this. And I'd be like, well, it was there. And they didn't read it. They just looked at the pictures. And so she looked at the
100%.
pictures, didn't really pay attention to them, and she didn't like the condition. She said it wasn't as good of condition as she expected. And I said, okay. I said, well, my thing now is, wait, I'm missing the main point of the story because it is late and I'm tired. The second half of her complaint was, I know UPS priority flat rate bubble mailers are only $8 and something cents. And you charge me $9.19 or whatever the numbers were, right? It was like basically a $1 difference. And she was like, you ripped me off on shipping. And that was just like, I mean, I don't know.
It's a one-word response. Handling.
Yeah.
Handling.
Well, no, what I did is I wrote back, because remember, like a week or two ago on the podcast, I said I'm changing all my stuff to free returns. Seller pays return shipping, all that. And I said to her, hey, I offer free returns. Go ahead and send it back. Just hit that button, and it'll print you a label, and you'll be good to go. And so she did that, and now it's coming back to me. But like,
that's such a good way to think of it, though. Like, that's what you need to be thinking, everybody, is don't answer any of these questions like you miss. Don't waste any of your time debating on whether you correctly described something, your shipping was proper or improper. The only response, you almost ignore what they say. And the only response should be, and this is what I do this religiously. I accept returns for any reason. I admit no guilt because there's no reason, because I don't know if I am. So I always say I accept returns for any reason, Please go ahead and return it. It's free, and then we'll get the money back when it gets back. I don't waste time going down a rabbit hole of what I did or didn't do.
Exactly. I didn't argue with her at all.
I don't know. It's good for business to do that and then just move on. And then
I didn't argue with her about the perceived value of a priority bubble mailer versus priority
Exactly.
box. Like, it
That's
just
a
wasn't
waste
worth my
of
time.
time.
And I gotta say, I'm loving the convenience of these free returns. Now, mind you, I'm gonna probably get more returns. I'm gonna have to pay return shipping, but I don't have to do anything. They just go in there, they hit return, and eBay generates the label. I don't have to hit send label. I don't have to do anything. It's just all gets done for me, and I can go look in there and say, okay, is there a return on the way? Whatever. When it comes, I'll refund them.
Yep.
It's just that easy.
What I've done for years, basically.
Yeah.
I try to remember to do free 60-day. I do the most. I'll pay for the return, shipping, everything. It doesn't really affect
I do that too.
the amount of returns I get. It really doesn't, because most people aren't scamming. So most people aren't looking to return an item they want.
Yeah,
they want
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I am loving that part of it. I just thought that.
Are you loving it?
Like
that
McDonald's.
actually is a perfect segue to our new sponsor, Wendy's. Wendy's. Are you loving it?
No, that's McDonald's.
No, wait. Are you loving it? Well, you got to stop it and head down to Wendy's and get yourself one of them chocolate Frosties that I've been hearing so much about.
Yeah, you dip your fries in them, guys. I think that's just...
Frosties. You'll get diabetes by 42.
I'm on my way. Okay, so, Carrie, I made correct life choices and went and saw the Ghostbusters movie.
Yes.
And Resident Evil. Did you make any correct life choices?
Dude, I did not go to any movies, and I was so bummed out. I want to go to movies bad, and we just were busy with.
Well, let me spoil the ending for you. So at the very end,
did they bust any ghosts?
They did bust some ghosts. I'm very sad that you didn't see it because I want to talk to you about it.
We will. We'll talk. I'm gonna. I think we're planning on going to a movie in the first couple days this week. So.
Maybe
Dawn
what we'll do, Carrie...
full time now, so we can just go to a movie whenever.
Listen, Carrie. What we'll do is next week at the very end of the podcast, we'll do a little spoiler section where we talk in complete freedom about the film, and people can tune out. We'll warn them before that part comes for the end of the show.
Movie
and we
reviews.
can talk.
I think that's important because I have a lot of things to say, and you're here, so that's good enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I've always been, so it works fine. That works fine. You know, when I was a kid, my mom had a minivan, okay? And one time,
I'm back.
She forgot.
I'm sorry.
See, I don't really remember this, but she tells me this story all the time, and I always try to figure out what kind of like level of bad parent she was for this to have ever happened. But she said there was a point where she was on the highway, and she was like hauling something in the minivan, so she had her back gate like kind of open and like sort of tied down, like some sort of furniture or something. And if for some reason I was capable at 2 years old of getting out of my seat, and I crawled back to the back of the van, and I was sitting on the back of the van with my legs hanging off, looking out the back of the van on the highway. And I'm alive.
No fear. You had no fear.
I'm an idiot.
We used to wear as kids, man. That
no
was
fear.
You.
Those are probably worth money now.
Dude, those are.
But what level of like parenting would make that happen?
But I pretended I didn't have any.
Yeah, anyways, that story had no point. I think I was really telling you that because she also had a time where she left me at a grocery store. And she went home and then really, like, Kevin McAllister level bad parenting. She got home and realized she didn't have me and had to call the supermarket to see if I was at the supermarket, and they had found me and they were holding me for her.
And just let them know that she'll be back in a couple hours when she's able to stop back by.
She was a good mom. She is a good mom. She was just always a bit absent-minded.
One of my best memories with my mom. She's a little absent-minded, but she wasn't like I've gotten in a lot of fender benders in my years. I got this from my mom. But she got in a lot of fender benders as well. One time we were in the Burger King parking, the drive-through. We drove through the parking lot into the drive-through, and she somehow rear-ended the person in front of her in the drive-through, and we like had to get out. And it was like 1990. They were exchanging. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, thought we were in a big car wreck because I didn't know what a big car wreck was. And then I remember the people who worked at Burger King came out. I think it was Burger King, and they gave me the whole set of Simpson toys, whole set. For free, and I was never so happy. I was so happy my mom got in that wreck because, and that's how you should start the podcast, by the way, just right there, perfect edit. But no, we were okay and safe. But I did get a lot of toys. I probably lost them because I could sell them on Whatnot for like $3 right now.
I know, yeah. Do you know that sinking feeling you get when you pull up your eBay orders on your second screen during this podcast when Carrie's telling a really boring story? Mm-hmm. And you see that you've sold 2 items. The Counselor on DVD and the Counselor on DVD. And you know for a fact you only have one, the Counselor on DVD. Oh, that sucks. Why did this dude need 2 copies of it?
Is it the same guy?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not like a double? Because I've had them show up a couple times when it's been one order. That makes me feel like it's just one order. Did something happen in the counselor world to make it hot all of a sudden on
No, he
the
bought
day
it
before
twice.
Cyber Monday? Somebody's like, it's almost Cyber Monday. I can't wait any longer. I'm picking up the counselor. Finally.
Like, I almost think people are trolling you when that happens. Like, it's so clearly the same item, the same photo, the same seller. Like, how can they not realize this guy probably has an accidental double listing?
Yeah, well, exactly. How could they not know how I don't know how to do my job? Like,
But
dude,
it
people
has the
don't read
same Best Buy
descriptions. They're
sticker.
not-
It's got the it's like,
Yeah, but people
just
don't
so
read
clearly
descriptions.
the
You
same
think they're
thing.
masterminding double buys just to piss you off? People
I
aren't
think
wasting
so.
money doing
I think
that.
they are.
Look
No,
at
I
the
think that's what they're
counselor,
doing.
and it's always like the $3 DVDs that screw you up. It's not like
So
a
is.
$1,000 sale. It's always like, oh, I'm going to get a bad mark and go below standard for a $1.50 tarot
Yep.
card or something.
Yeah, it's actually an $8 DVD.
Oh,
You know,
My
someone
apologies.
reached out to me. I'll tell you this, Carrie. I feel like since I'm not going to be sourcing much over this this winter, I want to try to source more from private picks where they have a lot of like really high value action figures that they'll sell me for cheap. So if anyone's listening,
so tomorrow I had to unplug my mic because I ran out.
now you sound awful now.
Do I really sound that much
It's
different?
fine. Just go. It's fine. It's fine.
I wanted to know if you would even notice.
At least there's no echo.
Well, that's good. My audio, I've got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got my buddy who does the estate sales tomorrow. I'm going, and he's supposed to have some cards and some toys for me. So
Nice. For the auction tomorrow night, where you're
Yeah, I
going
need
to
some
definitely
toys
be
for the
selling a
auction.
PS5 and getting... Guys, literally, the way this works on Whatnot is Whatnot will go into your live stream and drop a $500 PS5 for sale. And then a viewer will buy that within 5 seconds because they're really hard to get right now and everyone
they're like
wants
worth
one.
$800-900 right now.
Yeah. And so people are buying them instantly, and that $500, they take out their fees and give the rest of it to Carrie if they drop
If
it during
that
his
happens,
stream.
I don't
If they drop
I
it
don't
during
know
his
if that's
stream.
going to happen to me, but
It happened to Eric the
happened
OBX
to
picker.
Eric, didn't it? It happened
Yep.
to OBX.
Yep, happened to Eric the OBX picker. And dude, I've been watching live streams a lot today, and like you just go look at their solds, and like all of them have a PS5 as one of their solds. Like it's look tonight after the show. Just pull up an auction, go to the solds, you'll see
That's the thing, man. I don't want to get my hopes up.
I want you to
wanna
get your
my
hopes up because here, this is a win-win for me. One, I get to cheer with you, and two, I get to cheer when you cry. So either way, I win.
I know, dude. I'm going to get a text either way, and it's going to be just the happy face emoji.
Yeah,
And
no
like,
matter
I
what,
can't
I'm happy.
believe It's the happiest moment of my life. What happened to you?
I'm not going to admit which is going to make me happier, but either way, I'm going to be
I
happy.
already know, dude. I know.
I
you,
would
and-
like for you to also see Resident Evil this weekend. If you can do a double feature, I'd appreciate it.
dude. If I don't know if I can talk Dawn into Resident Evil.
Do it. Talk her into it.
Ghostbusters might even be difficult. She's going to want to watch. I don't know
Why
what
do you
she
have
wants
to go
watch.
with Dawn? Can't she leave early and you stay for the second one?
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Do that.
Could. But I
Do
like
that.
to spend time with my significant other, so.
She's not feeling the same way. I'm just... Based on that whole interaction you guys had, I think you peeved her a little bit.
You think I peeved her just now?
I think
like
she was a
during
little
the-
peeved, yeah. Yeah, she was trying to tell you her story, and you weren't listening.
Well, I didn't think you could hear her, and I didn't want to like ruin the podcast. It's not like
What?
we're live.
Are
and
you
we can
saying
do whatever
I'm-
we want, just
Are you
make
saying
fun
I'm
of Paul
too
all the
lazy
time.
now to edit the podcast? Because you might be right.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
putting
know.
less-
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you edit them. You just kind of throw them up.
Dude, I've just been so busy.
Well,
had a couple
I'm not
things
saying that
going
as a dig, a little bit, but
on. Yeah.
no, realistically, like I'm just like I don't think you really have to do. I like to think of it as you just being able to put it right up, so I don't want to mess it up too bad.
Yeah. Well, that is better if I don't have to. I think it was okay because I think we could kind of hear her. I kind of understood what she was saying. So, anyways, I sold that tabletop hockey game for $100. I like to bring my ADD into the stream where I'm just all over the place. But we never finished that thought. I sold it for $100, Carrie. I paid $20. Thought that was pretty solid. Pretty solid flip.
Why not? You know,
Yeah.
sure. Whatever.
And we
floats
also,
your boat.
another thing we were talking about, never finished it, is Paul the Philly Flipper came into my Whatnot and he bid like a crazy man on my Pokemon cards.
He knows
And
something.
he's been, well, okay, right? You'd think so. But he messages me and he's like, so you're going to sell me the rest of those Pokemon cards? I was like, well, dude, they went for a lot of money. Like, maybe I should auction them. He's like, yeah, but I overpaid for all of them. I said, well, that you shouldn't have done because now
That
I
sounds
feel like they're
a
worth...
you problem and not so much of a me problem.
Because to me, they're now worth that much for a little stack. So I got a lot of
talked to
little
Paul
stacks.
after that too, and Paul verbatim told me he had to. He was basically showing he was the big man on campus on that one. He had to
That's what he
not
told
let
me. He said he
Yeah,
didn't want to
so-
let that guy win. And I said, well, listen, you've now
You
given
failed
me
at
a
auctions, my friend. You
false...
failed at auctions. You played the wrong game. The only winners are us on that end, the people auctioning stuff off, not you.
So now I don't know
The
what they're
hardest
worth.
thing to do is to not be emotional in an auction. It's one thing if you're buying for yourself and you have the money and you don't care, and you're like supporting the person, whatever. But like if you're actually trying to flip stuff, I'm not saying he made a mistake. There's probably some valuable stuff in there.
No, but he's a collector. He has all like the jungle cards and stuff, so he is a collector.
I mean, he overpaid for a collect, but it's still stuff he's going to enjoy. So it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you have to be completely non-emotional. I mean, I don't know if you went to a lot of live auctions in your day.
I've never ever been to one in my entire life.
You would be great at them. You would be great. You have no emotion.
No, but I'm competitive. I'm competitive though. That's an emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see you are competitive. That's true.
I'd like to big boss it.
That's actually the worst one you can be.
That's the one I struggle with. I wouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to lose the item. It would be like, I want you to fail and me to succeed. This auction?
Here's a good auction story. So back in the day, I used to go to this live auction place called Bulwards in Utah. If you're from Utah, you may have heard of it. It was like Amazon overstock pallets, stuff like that, kind of random stuff. And they decided randomly a couple years in that they were changing the way that they were going to auction stuff. And they were going to start the auction with everybody raising their hands at the start of the auction. And then when you were no longer interested in that item, you put your hand down. So what that did was put me in a very interesting position with my arch nemesis, who liked to sit up front. And I, in turn, like someone who's been to auctions, sat in the back. So I could just see when he was going to put down his hand, and I could simply put my hand down too, run him up to his value. Right?
So you'd put it down right before him?
Oh yeah, they were totally cool with it too. Because there was some stuff I wanted, so I was getting pissed off. He was overpaying for stuff I wanted. So not on everything, I wasn't that much of an evil person, but on the stuff I wanted, it went past the price I really wanted to pay. So I would keep my hand up, and as he was putting his hand down, which sometimes was like $50, $60 more than I wanted to pay, I'd put my hand down too. And then they'd go, okay, you guys both put your hand down at the same time. Both put your hand up again, and then let's do it one more time. And then the second time, I immediately put my hand down, and he won it. So I did that to him. So I did that to him over and over. He paid above value on so much stuff, and I loved it. The game of an auction is fun and beautiful.
You are a monster.
I am.
Okay. We're going to end the podcast here, guys. It's been almost an hour and a half, and I know you guys got a life, and we don't, but I'm tired. So there's that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Trash to Cash Podcast. Make sure you review us on iTunes. Tell your friends. They don't need to be resellers. They can be puppy breeders, kitty breeders, any kind of breeders.
They could be,
or resellers would be fine.
The people who work with feet, the doctors who work on your nose, the nose
That's
doctors,
fetologist.
Proctologist?
No, yes, they're them too. They got stinky jobs. They could use some joy.
I think they would be our core demographic, actually.
Yes. Bunch of potty talk on here. All right, thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.
Okay, bye.